With the big game approaching in Vegas, 10 localized thoughts about the Houston Texans. Could be dangerous, could be intriguing, but they are localized thoughts. I'll let you decide.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, Locker Room. Yeah, we in the locker
Heading to
room.
Las Vegas, 10 thoughts about this game that you can tie back to the Houston Texans. It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central on Sports Radio 610, the Odyssey app, on YouTube and on Twitch. Going to be live at Radio Row all week long. Let's just get right into it. We do localize it here. It is a Texans channel. I do cover the Texans. So let's just get right into this. Thought one, I think the Chargers are the Texans' biggest threat when you combine short and long term. I haven't seen Patrick Mahomes without Travis Kelce. I don't think it's going to be going on too much longer. He's done a nice job adjusting without Tyreek Hill, but I've never seen him without Travis Kelce. I still think he's probably one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But let's just be honest. If you look at Travis Kelce before Patrick Mahomes, yeah, it definitely elevated. But he was 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All Pro. He wasn't a scrub. A guy who's breaking Jerry Rice's records doesn't just go away and you don't miss a beat. And on top of that, they got a lot of question marks at other positions. They're going to have to pay some bills. They've done a good job they being Kansas City, they've done a good job of innovating from the beginning of this stretch to now, but we haven't seen him without Travis Kelce. He's 34 years old. He's got a hell of a life off the field. So long term, don't know. How did the Chiefs look long term? Don't know. Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, all that. I think they're the biggest threat long term and short term. Could be wild. Let me know. Thought number two, I would let Jonathan Grenard walk. If he's going to get the $18 million range that some people are projecting, I would let him walk. If it comes down and we're talking like 11, 12 million, then we might be talking and there might be a bargain. But I think Jonathan Grenard has earned the right to test the market. I think that's his right. I don't think the Texans should aggressively try to prevent him from doing that. And maybe the league talks to him and he comes back. But if we're talking about Jonathan Grenard getting the max value that pass rushers often get, although there are some question marks about health, I would let Jonathan Grenard walk. Thought three, I think it's a failure if running back isn't attacked in multiple ways by the Texans. And in multiple ways, I mean in free agency and in the draft, or in free agency and bringing back Singletary. They need multiple running backs and they need to attack it in multiple ways. No excuse to have the running back room they have, especially heading into next season with those expectations. Thought four, I think there needs to be a proactive mindset with the biggest question marks that the Texans have. And I'll probably get into this perhaps next week. I'll put together a video of the biggest players with the most to prove, perhaps fighting for their maybe not NFL lives, but Texans lives. But whether it's Kenyon Green at left guard, whether it's John Mechie at in the slot, whether it's Jalen Petrie at safety, who I have a little bit more hope for. You don't just need to sit around and cross your fingers and hope that these guys come through. If you want to bring in some competition for them, I think you need to proactively approach that. These guys are not right now equipped to where, hey, let's just see what happens. If someone comes through and competes, if there's a guard that slides in the draft or there's a safety that might be able to compete with Petrie or a slot receiver that you like, be proactive. Thought five, who could be this year's Damen Pierce? In other words, Kadarius Toney. Last year, Kadarius Toney was a big contributor in this game that I'm about to cover and we're about to watch. This year, he's a non-factor. We kind of saw Dameon Pierce fall off this year compared to last year as well. Not in as bad of a way and not the same, but from a production standpoint, someone you count on in big moments. I think he might have played one snap in the playoffs. Who could be this year, 2024's Dameon Pierce? Who could fall off? Do we see Nico Collins come down to earth? Do we see Tank Dell? Christian Harris. Who knows? You got to look at guys who had good years. I don't really see one, but I'll let you answer that question in the comments. Thought 6, I think Caserio is in his comfort zone. I'm going to put a video out about this, but I think Nick Caserio's experience and how he functioned in New England is a lot. There's a lot of similarities to that and how he's living right now. Allow me to explain that. I'll get a video going on that later this week. Thought 7, I hope the Jags pay Trevor Lawrence. This is random. I've seen some Jacksonville folks talking about Trevor Lawrence. Look, I don't think Trevor Lawrence sucks. I don't think he's elite. And I think he could be in the Derek Carr range when it comes to quarterbacks, which is great. You could do a lot worse than Derek Carr. But when you start paying Derek Carr like an elite quarterback and he doesn't take the elite steps, oh, well, could Trevor Lawrence get the best of the Texans in certain years? Sure, we've seen it. But there's also times where you don't know who the hell this guy is. I think the playoff win last season is symbolic of what Trevor Lawrence can be. He can be the worst quarterback you've ever seen. He can be one of the best. If I'm the Texans, pay Trevor Lawrence. I don't think I'm too worried about that. Thought 8, Travis Kelce doesn't get enough credit. And it opens my mind through localized lenses. I kind of touched on this at the beginning. You talk about the Chiefs being a threat, and you look at Patrick Mahomes' age and you say, damn, he's 28 years old. Tom Brady played till he's 40. The Chiefs are going to be in the way of the Texans, blah, 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 blah. We've never seen him without Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce's 34 years old. The Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez draft kind of, I won't say revived, but it gave Tom Brady a different element. The Chiefs are going to have to do something there. And even then, we're talking about a GOAT of tight ends and one of Patrick Mahomes' best targets, who was already an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber player before he got there. I'm not sitting here saying Travis Kelce made Patrick Mahomes or anything like that. I'm just saying they're going to have to separate sooner rather than later. So this notion that, oh, there's going to be some sort of dynasty and you're going to have to get over Patrick Mahomes. There were times this year where Kansas City struggled. And that was when Travis Kelce just wasn't playing his best, but he was still out there. He's still available. He's still making situational big plays. Eventually, sooner rather than later, Patrick Mahomes is going to be without him. And it makes you wonder, like, who is the real biggest threat to the Texans? Thought 9, I love the Gumbo start that the Texans have. Gumbo, you put a little bit of everything in there. That's what the Texans have right now. You got the 49ers philosophy. You got the elite quarterback, you think, like what Kansas City has. DeMeco Ryans has played for Andy Reid. He's learned under Kyle Shanahan. You just take all the good things about this Super Bowl. Hell, listen to 49ers players talk about DeMeco Ryans. It's just a nice little pot of gumbo that the Texans have. Best of both worlds. And thought 10, this is interesting. I thought about this. I pride myself in comparing guys. Does DeMeco Ryans have a comp? What is the comparison for DeMeco Ryans as far as being a coach? I know philosophically he has a lot of similarities with what comes from San Francisco, and I think even Robert Saleh, even though Saleh hasn't had as much success, he's a former player like Mike Vrabel, a little bit of a player's coach, a little bit. I mean, who is DeMeco Ryans' comp? I'm gonna have to think about this. I don't have all the answers. I damn sure don't have that answer. Put it in the comments. Subscribe, like, ride along. Super Bowl coverage is officially upon us. Go over to the Sports Radio 610 page right now. You'll catch me at Radio Row doing my thing with the OG John Lopez, as we do all the time on the show of record. Appreciate you for coming through. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Let's get it. Super Bowl week, final week of the season.
Yes, let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localized every